Sometimes the tiniest hope can spark the biggest change in your life. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling streams, there lived an old woman named Martha. She was small and frail, with silver hair that framed her gentle face, and eyes that glimmered with warmth and kindness. Despite living alone in a modest, clay-roofed house near the edge of the forest, she carried a serenity that drew people to her. Villagers often whispered among themselves, "How can someone with so little have so much joy in her heart?" Her life had not been easy. She had faced losses, hunger, and illness. Her husband had passed many years ago, and she had no children to care for her in old age. Yet, every morning she would rise with the sun, sweeping the small courtyard, tending to her tiny garden, and humming softly to herself. She greeted everyone she met with a smile, and her laughter, though gentle, had a way of lighting up the whole village. One afternoon, as the sun began to sink behind the hills, a young mother named Emily arrived at her doorstep. Her eyes were red from crying, her clothes disheveled from days of worry, and her heart weighed down with despair. Emily had moved to the village from a neighboring town, chasing the dream of a better life for her family. Her husband, James, had gone to the city weeks ago in search of work, promising to send money back home. But the days had passed, and no letter, no call, no sign of him had arrived. Her children were hungry, and every corner of her small home echoed with worry and uncertainty. Tears streamed down her face as she bowed before Martha and whispered, "I feel like everything is falling apart. What if James cannot find work? What if I fail my children? What if I can't survive this?" Martha listened patiently, her eyes calm, her hands folded gently in her lap. She did not interrupt, for she knew that sometimes the first step to healing was simply being heard. After a long pause, she spoke softly. "Sit with me, child. Tell me, what do you choose to focus on?" Emily frowned, unsure what Martha meant. I don't understand. What do you mean?" Martha smiled warmly. "Your heart feels heavy because you are focusing on what you do not have, the money, the certainty, the control over life's outcomes. But what if you chose to notice the little blessings that exist even in your hardship? A warm meal for your children, a roof over your head, the breath in your lungs, the love in your heart. Even when life seems impossible, gratitude can lighten your heart." Emily's brow furrowed. "But how can I think positive when everything seems so dark? When every step feels like I'm sinking deeper?" Martha chuckled softly and said, "Let me tell you a story, one that may help you see the world differently." She leaned back, her eyes gazing toward the distant hills. "There once was a poor farmer named Daniel. He had nothing but a small hut, a worn-out plow, and a few seeds he had saved from last season. One year the rains failed. Crops withered, and his neighbors laughed at his struggles. They said he was foolish to plant anything at all. They mocked him when his roof leaked and when he could not afford new shoes. Yet, every morning, Daniel would rise with the sun. He would look at the soil, the sky, and the tiny stream nearby, and he would whisper to himself, 'Today, I will find what is good. Today I will work with hope.' Even as he tilled the dry, cracked earth, he focused on what he had, the stream that offered water, the sun that warmed the soil, the few seeds that could grow if tended carefully." Martha paused, letting Emily absorb the words. At first it seemed nothing was changing. Days passed, crops failed, and the wind blew harshly across the fields. Yet slowly, tiny miracles appeared. A stream brought life to a patch of soil that seemed dead. Some seeds sprouted unexpectedly, braving the harsh sun. A neighbor, seeing Daniel's diligence and hope, offered him grains to plant. Daniel's mindset didn't magically change the world, but it opened his eyes to the blessings he had overlooked. Emily's eyes widened, a small flicker of hope igniting. So, he prospered, not because life became easier, but because he changed how he saw it. Martha nodded. "Exactly. Gratitude and hope are like seeds. Plant them in your mind daily, water them with patience, and eventually they will grow into strength, joy, and abundance. Even in hardship, these seeds can sprout miracles. Days turned into weeks." Emily took Martha's advice to heart. Each morning, before tending to her children, she whispered, "Today, I will notice what is good. Today, I will be grateful for what I have. She celebrated the small victories, the laughter of her children, a warm meal, the first letters she finally received from James. She worked tirelessly, but her heart felt lighter. Even when nights were long and the house was quiet except for her worried sighs, she would close her eyes and remember Martha's words. Slowly, a sense of peace replaced the anxiety that had once weighed her down. Then, one morning, a letter arrived from James. He had found a stable job in the city and was sending money back home. Tears of relief filled Emily's eyes. She ran to Martha's home to share the news. Martha smiled, listening quietly, her eyes twinkling. "You see, my child, life did not change because the world became easier. Life changed because your heart changed. You learned to see the good even in struggle, and that opened the door to miracles." Emily nodded, a warm smile spreading across her face. "I understand now. I see how hope and gratitude can truly transform life. Even when everything seems lost, I still have what matters most: love, courage, and the strength to keep moving forward." The villagers began to notice the change in Emily. Her children laughed more freely. Her home became brighter, filled with warmth and life. Others in the village came seeking Martha's advice, hoping to find the same peace and wisdom. And every time she would tell them the same lesson: "Your thoughts are powerful. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. Plant seeds of hope and gratitude in your mind daily, and miracles will grow where you least expect them." Life continued as it always does, with its trials and challenges. But Emily now faced each day differently. Hunger was still hunger, rain still fell or failed, but the weight on her heart was lighter. She discovered that gratitude and positive thinking were not mere words. They were tools, shields, and wings that allowed her to navigate life's storms. She never forgot to whisper each morning, "Thank you, God, for giving me everything. Thank you for the breath in my lungs, for the laughter of my children, for the love in my heart, and for the lessons that teach me to grow." And with that simple act, she realized something extraordinary. Even when the world seemed harsh, even when challenges loomed large, life had a way of rewarding hope, patience, and gratitude. The tiniest seeds, sown with faith, could bloom into life-changing miracles. Life will always bring challenges, but your thoughts and gratitude can turn struggles into opportunities. Positive thinking and gratitude are powerful tools. Focus on what you have, nurture hope, and even the darkest days can lead to unexpected blessings. Plant seeds of gratitude daily and watch your life transform. A comment below: who in your life inspires hope and positivity? Share this story with someone who needs encouragement today. Subscribe to Eterna Tales for more inspirational, life-changing stories.